Hey y'all, it's Nikki. I have to tell you about Tecovas boots. I finally have a pair and they're handmade, high quality, stylish, and comfortable. I even got them customized with leather stamping. The folks at Tecovas will help you find just the right pair. So swing by for yours at the Tecovas flagship on South Congress or their store at the Domain. Plus, good news, they just opened a new store in Georgetown at 709 Main Street for those of y'all that live a little further north. So come shop with me at Tecovas. That's TECOVAS.com. Don't go gently, y'all. Today on CityCast Austin, events in Austin like ACL Fest, Formula One, South by, they are great for the city's pocketbook. But how great? My friend from City Hall is here to spell it all out. And stay tuned after the interview for a special segment, A Mile in Their Boots, where we feature the unsung heroes of Austin. A Mile in Their Boots and CityCast Austin are brought to you by our exclusive launch sponsor, Tecovas. It's Wednesday, October 2nd. I'm Nikki Devon, and this is what Austin's talking about. Hello, I'm here with Sylnovia Holt-Rabb, Director of City of Austin Economic Development, and we are going to talk festivals. It's that time of year. Hi, Sylnovia.
Hey there, how's it going?
It's going really good. Oh my gosh. For me in the fall, it feels like it's festival time. Austin is just inundated with festivals, but what's the reality?
So I consider it a fall and a spring season because not only do we have our large festivals, which we're known for, but that secret sauce are all the small festivals that we have. And of course, football. And I know you say, well, that's not a festival, but UT now creates what we call an experience. So you're likely to have musicians, local and national, there because we partner with them to make sure that they have a great local list.
So we just found out about the fact that at the LBJ school, there's a whole big thing. There's a whole big music thing, and Tanya Tucker's going to be here.
Yes.
I had no idea how many things the city had its hands in.
I went to an event probably 2 years ago now with the athletic director from UT, and that was the first time even for myself. I knew we gave them lists and I knew they had music, but it's an experience now.
Yeah.
It just doesn't happen on Saturday. It starts like Thursday, Friday, and go on. Again, opportunities for local musicians. So we're excited. We love it.
Yeah.
And then you have 2 weeks of ACL, and then you have Formula One.
Right.
And that's going to be a party in itself. But here's the great thing is that they have local musicians during F1 weekend. So even as you come from the shuttle bus and you walk all the way up to the track, there are musicians along the path. And we love that. Oh, yes. And you have local musicians. And so we love it because it not only gives them exposure during that time when you're bringing these headliners, but it gives our local musicians an opportunity to shine too. And so after F1, about end of October-ish, we go in what's called the shoulder season. So that winter, that November, December, January, and then here we come to spring season where you have South by, you have Urban Music Fest, you have all of the festivals. Yes. So, and all the local festivals that we fund through our department. We have a Swedish festival I went to down at the Old Emporium Bakery on Congress. There was a Swedish little festival. So we have all kinds of rich culture in this city.
Little bitty things, yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't say small compared to ACL, but when you get there, you're like, oh my God, this is going on. And so
I love when that happens.
Yeah, it's just a lot. We even had a German event earlier this year that I went to near the Red River area, but they had a car show and all kinds of stuff. But yes. I tell people, go to the Visit Austin website, because if you're funded through our programs, you're to actually place your items on their calendar so that when visitors look for something to do, it will be on their calendar. So I would just encourage even Austinites, just check out the calendar. Like I said, there's stuff going on almost every night that you could see a play, hear music, all kinds of things.
And it runs the gamut. So you
Yes.
have, I mean, it's all over the place. It's like the
Mm-hmm.
weirdest stuff you ever heard of, and then like sweet little like kid stuff and like
Mm-hmm.
everything in between. Like, it's
Yes,
amazing.
yes, it is amazing. Yes, yes.
What is the biggest festival? Like, how many people do Austin's festivals tend to attract and bring in?
Mm, well, I would say it's a tie between South by and the ACM now that it's 2 weekends.
Yeah.
The city of Austin doesn't do the economic impact for each festival. It's up to the promoters to do the economic impact. So when you see in the paper that South by contributes millions of dollars, that is from those promoters' economic impact, which they run up until the festival starts. They'll talk about the economic impact. And again, it is. It's a driver for our economy, whether you're talking sales tax, car rental tax, and definitely what we love, the hotel occupancy tax.
Oh yeah,
because of course, hot tax, because that funds our programs, and so we're always excited. We say we love the roar of the engines for F1, but we even love more the ching ching in the paper that folds after the fact. So yes.
So I want to talk about the promoters and how do we make sure that those numbers are accurate and they're doing what they're supposed to do?
So typically, if an event comes, for example, F1, that race is part of what we call the Major Event Trust Fund. And so the city of Austin has worked with COTA for years to nominate it for a state incentive. And let me say that again, it's a state program, it's not a city program, and they receive an incentive from the state. But as part of the requirements, we have to verify compliance. So they submit reports, we verify the numbers, and then even a third party administrator comes in behind us to verify. So in terms of F1, we definitely understand the numbers because they'll break down race versus the music component. And so that's how we check. Other than that specific one, you can look by the hotel occupancy tax receipt. You can see when it comes up, when it goes up, and when it goes down. And our financial services department, as well as our convention center and Visit Austin, they track attendance that comes into the city.
Do you guys have a way to track whether or not, like, is it all visitors from out of town? Is it mostly local? Is it a mixture? And how do we track that as a city? Is it primarily from the hotel occupancy tax, or is there other ways?
There are other ways to track it via like your hotel registration, which the Hotel Lodging Association works closely with Visit Austin to tell who's coming in, whether it's intrastate or out of state or out of country. That is how they are able to determine who's coming here. Is it within 50 miles or greater? That's how they can track that.
That's kind of dope, actually. They can tell what people. Yeah.
Oh yeah. It's based on how you register, and they don't get down to like the name level.
Right.
They can just do high level analysis of saying you're out of state, based on the codes and everything.
Right.
So it's not Big Brother watching. I'm just saying high level. They have an idea of who's coming in and where they're coming from, and we know that based on, especially for F1 on ticket sales. They collect that data.
Do the numbers include like Airbnb or VRBOs, or is it mostly just like hotels and stuff like that?
If they are registered, we do have that information for Airbnbs. And I encourage those owners who are listening, if you're not registered, please get registered so we can collect that tax.
Yeah.
It definitely benefits the entire economy and ecosystem in Austin. So please do that.
So Novia mentioned Visit Austin. And so Visit Austin is essentially a website, or is it more than a website?
It's more than a website.
Okay,
so
all right.
Visit Austin is a nonprofit that is our tourism marketing arm. So the state of Texas has rules and regulations around hotel occupancy tax and how it can be spent. So a portion of the hotel occupancy tax that we collect goes to Visit Austin to recruit conventions, even sporting events to Austin. And so that's how that is used. They help promote Austin and all that it has to offer to visitors and conventioneers.
So in Austin, tourists spend money in town. That money goes into hotel occupancy tax, and that supports various initiatives all over the city. Can you tell us more about that? Because you even mentioned, like there's a lot of funds that benefit from these taxes.
The hotel occupancy tax is base 9 cents. A couple of years ago for expansion, we added 2 cents. So the areas that benefit are cultural arts, music, historic preservation, as well as convention center and tourism and marketing. And so the tourism and marketing line supports Visit Austin. And so through those various arms, approach promotion tourism, convention center, and then historic preservation, as well as the Live Music Fund and the Cultural Arts Fund. And several years ago, council actually increased the percentage around historic preservation to the maximum allowed by the state to 15%. So for historic preservation, you can apply for historic preservation grants through the city. A portion is used for the City of Austin's historic property, as well as a line item for historic acquisition.
Wow.
Mhm.
So
Yes.
you mentioned the Live Music Fund, Cultural Arts. Let's talk a little bit more about how the Economic Development Department specifically reinvests those dollars into local arts and culture and that whole ecosystem, because I need everybody to know about this.
Yes, yes, we are definitely proud to be able to pour back into our creative community. And we have 3 programs that we fund through our Cultural Arts Division: Thrive, Elevate, and Nexus at various levels, as well as we have a live music fund now that supports independent promoters, musicians, and venues. Then we have, again, the historic preservation grant was individuals or companies can apply for historic preservation. Like Houston Tillotson has gotten a grant, the Paramount has gotten a grant, Bethany Cemetery has gotten a grant recently.
Right.
Even Uptown Sports Bar, which is a historic venue over off of East 6, but it also has a live music component. So that's where you can definitely combine both for the promotion of a business.
Have you been there yet?
No, I haven't been there yet.
Synovia is so good. So Uptown Sports Club is a restaurant, but they are also, you said they have a live music component, and that's how they get money from the office. Is that correct?
They got a historic preservation grant.
Because of the building.
Because it was historic designated, and so they were able to apply for our funding. But it's also a venue that has live music. We provided money for historic preservation, but it's also a live music location where you can go hear live music.
Shout out to Uptown Sports Club. I'm sorry, y'all. I know anybody here that has been on this podcast, I talk about that place way too much. I'm just saying they have some really good food.
Right, but just like Victory Grill, it's a historic designation, but we know nonprofits that also use that for live music.
Yeah, Busy Signal, Victory Grill, yes. Go to those places, people, please.
Yes, they need us.
And so along the lines of festivals, because I got us so off track, along the lines of festivals, what's the overall economic impact of festivals for the city of Austin?
Oh, I don't have the specific festivals, but I know for our entire creative economy, which includes festival music, art, theater, etc., it's a $70 million net new tax impact to the city of Austin. We had that study done. We usually do it every 5 years just to see what the overall impact is, but that was our latest report that was done by TXP.
So how much of that goes out?
So I know for our department, we last year, I want to say we deployed about $25 million in hotel occupancy tax funds to our creative and music community.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And the 70 million comes to the city as a whole, not just the department,
Right.
not just the economic development department.
Right. And when we say net new taxes, that could include mixed beverage taxes. It's most high doing F1. So, oh, did I say that on the radio? Oh my God.
You need a beverage after all that walking. That's what
You do need a beverage. And how can we tell that? Because it's a different code when you put it in the system and you send it to the state. So then you have car rental taxes, right?
Right.
Well, that comes to the city. You have sales tax. Then you have the hotel occupancy tax. And yes, there is a mixed beverage tax.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So all of that coming into the city benefits us all around. And we always want to keep track of what is going on because, prior to COVID, then COVID, are we coming back? And we definitely can see that in terms of our hotel occupancy tax revenue. It has come back almost at pre-pandemic levels. And so we're excited to see that Austin is a place that people want to come. They want to come here, not just for music, but for our historic venues too.
I want to touch a little bit about, because, Zilker Park is our, shining golden achievement. Everybody loves Zilker Park. And I remember when I worked for District 1, I heard a lot of concerns about how festivals were affecting the city and the residents in ways that were challenging. So what are some other ways that the city is finding out that the festivals are affecting residents?
It can be a challenge. I will say we have a very vocal community here.
Yeah, very
vocal. So as part of the festival, you're supposed to notice the neighborhoods, right, of what's coming in advance. And so there are rules and regulations around even your local festivals. If you plan on closing off a street, you still have to notify the residents around the entire process. And that goes through our permitting process. And again, with Zilker being that area of ACL, it definitely can get challenging for the residents. But again, notification, we try to do in advance so that people can plan. We encourage not to drive, catch the shuttles, catch an Uber, so you're not having car traffic. It's just foot traffic. And so that's what we encourage, to be respectful of our neighbors and our neighborhoods.
To your point, we have stuff going on all the time, but specifically during these seasons like ACL, F1, South by for sure. Like, what do you find is the main chief complaint?
Traffic in my neighborhood.
Yeah.
Especially during South by, they love to do pop-ups, but even through pop-ups, you need a permit, you have to do a traffic plan, all the things around special events. And that's a whole ordinance in of itself and everything.
So I'm curious, there are these little, I keep saying little, I don't mean little insignificant. I just meant smaller festivals that happen. How easy is it to start a festival in Austin these days?
I would say, let's call them neighborhood festivals.
Thank you. Neighborhood festivals.
Even some churches have big festivals, even though they're neighborhood festivals. Like I know Jamaica's are very big. And I'm just saying,
yes,
things can get big,
yes,
even in neighborhoods. And that's the challenge. It's like, how do you have these neighborhoods, really big festivals in terms of the scale of the neighborhoods? They still have to follow a process in terms of permitting, notifying your neighbors, etc. But those are the unique festivals that make Austin, right? It's that little secret sauce, I call it. So it's not always about the big ones. It's those little ones where you can have vendors and music and local music and just the things that are culturally specific for Austin. Mm-hmm.
And it's pretty easy, right? I mean, you just have to get the right permits.
Follow the process and procedures. And
that's on y'all's site, right?
It's on the Development Services Center for Events Austin Center for Events can walk you through the process. But they also have individuals there through the permit that will walk you through, how do I access a neighborhood park? Maybe you want to do something in the park. Well, you need to contact Parks and Rec as well as Development Service to make sure that you're focused in on what the parks control as well as the permitting. So you make sure that you notice your neighbors. Mm-hmm.
And do you have a favorite Austin festival? You don't have to ask.
Do I have a favorite Austin festival? I know. I like them all because they're all unique. Every year I get to go to different festivals. Like when I went to the Swedish one, I was just like, oh my goodness, this is nice and it's different. Yeah. It's not my typical music, but it was great. It was a great event. And again, I try to get around because we fund a lot and I get invited to a lot. So I try to get around to the various neighborhoods to see what is going on and what keeps, again, Austin. So
I love that. And my last question is there anything else on this topic that you want to add or that you think is just like a good rule of thumb to know, or you just want Austinites to keep in mind when it comes to festivals and festival season?
Be patient with our large events because our large events feeds a bigger ecosystem here in Austin around creatives and our historic preservation. So it's a balance, right? We need those festivals to generate that hotel occupancy tax that then we feed back into our community, who feeds into the community. Because if I am a theater, then I may be hiring a carpenter. I may be hiring a sound tech. I may be hiring a director, and you're creating jobs, right? So that's one reason why we have the cultural arts and music, because it is an economic driver and we love it. Not only to have the various offerings, but just the jobs and the whole ecosystem and how it operates. And so I would just say be patient with the big festivals. If you have an idea, we love the creativity in Austin. It is definitely unique. And if you have an idea, definitely call the Austin Center for Events, but also check out funding opportunities. Probably you would start with the Nexus if you have an idea. Matter of fact, I'm meeting with somebody tomorrow on a concept that they have about a new festival.
Love it.
It's kind of intriguing too. I said, I don't think we have anything like that. So I'm going to meet with them, tell them about the process and procedures and who they could contact and how they could start. I think they should just start small.
Yeah.
Again, it's all about knowing your audience and who you're trying to appeal to.
So Novia, thank you so much for taking the time. I know you're busy. I love that we got to chat even for a little bit.
I love chatting with you, Nikki. I know.
I love it.
Next up, let's walk a mile in Montserrat Fuentes' boots, brought to you by our exclusive launch sponsor, Tecovas. Hello, I'm here with Montse Fuentes, the president of St. Edward's University.
Hello, Eva. So excited to be here with you.
So first off, tell us, who are you?
I have the great privilege of serving as president of St. Edward's University, a Catholic university here in Austin.
And what does that mean? What's your job?
My role involves having the opportunity to lead the university in all different areas, from the strategic planning and setting a vision for the institution to academic development and community engagement, and ultimately ensuring the success of our students. For that, I had to work very closely with a leadership team of vice presidents, and most importantly, with the campus community, with our faculty, staff, and students and partners. So at the core of everything that I do is to make sure that St. Edward's continues to be that special place where our students can thrive academically, personally, and professionally. We are a very diverse community. We are able to generate demand and interest from around the world, in particular from Central and South America, from Africa. Our students, they are not just a number or a face in the crowd. We celebrate who they are, their own identities, and we make sure that they don't get lost, that this is a place where we help them achieve their full potential.
How did you get into that line of work?
I was the first in my family that had the opportunity to attend college. And then I was recruited by the University of Chicago to continue my education here in the United States. So as a first generation immigrant, the opportunities that higher education presented to me was beyond anything that I could even imagine. So that was a calling for me, the desire to be able to serve others, to open the doors of that world of possibilities through an education. I wanted to stay in higher education to bring those opportunities to others. But then I also quickly realized the lack of representation of individuals like myself, in particular in leadership roles that could help to facilitate opportunities for individuals from different backgrounds to achieve their full potential. So that's when I started to engage in leadership roles.
You've mentioned a lot of different aspects of your job. So I'd love to walk a mile in your boots. Tell me, what do you do in an average day, if there is such a thing for you?
No two days are exactly alike. They're always filled with dynamic interactions. But there is always, throughout the day, the opportunity to connect with my team to make sure that we continue to be focused on moving forward our mission and institution. Part of my role requires the opportunity to engage with the broader Austin community, from collaborating with local leaders to discuss the opportunity to discuss partnerships that benefit both the university and certainly the city. But most importantly, what I always try to make effort is to make sure I make time for our students. So whether it's attending an event, a game, a performance, or even being in the classroom teaching, or just stopping by to hear from them, just never losing track that they are our reason for being.
And what would you say that your work at St. Edward's University brings to the city of Austin and to people who are here?
St. Edward's has a very rich history here in Austin. We are celebrating now our 140th anniversary. So we are deeply connected to the wonderful, diverse, and vibrant city of Austin. And the work that we do at the university helps shape the future leaders of our community, thoughtful and caring, compassionate leaders, as we prepare our students to be engaged citizens. We contribute to that growth and development of the city of Austin, not only with the workforce development or the preparation for the future leaders, but also working together on addressing some of the critical issues here in Austin.
Austin has lots of opportunities for having fun. How do you like to relax or have fun once your work day is done?
I love the city of Austin. It's such a welcoming place, but it has such a diverse culture. It's a city with character. It's a city with values. And I love to explore the very unique and local food scene where you can go from amazing food from a food truck to fine dining. And in particular, I love the South Austin, South Congress area. The music scene is unparalleled all throughout the city. But what I enjoy the most is the outdoors. Either if it's going to be by the water, as a river city has very unique characteristics. I love to go to Mozart's Cafe and just enjoy music, the water, the opportunity to be there and enjoy it. But one of the great things about this area too is the hill country and all the winery, and it's really amazing. I like riding horses, but I also want to highlight that there is nothing like the Hilltop. That's where St. Edward's is located. During the weekends, we have games, performances, just a beautiful place. It's not just an amazing location, but it's also beautiful people. But at the end of the day, what matters to me the most is my family. So any opportunity that I have to continue exploring this city of Austin with my family, that's what it brings me great joy.
Well, thank you so much. We look forward to visiting you up on the hilltop.
I would love that. I would love that.
Check out our show notes to learn more about Montse Fuentes and her work at St. Edward's University. You're just a click away. And thank you so much for listening. And thanks again for Tecovas for sponsoring our interview.
That's all for today here on CityCast Austin. You can find more information about Austin's Economic Development Department in our show notes. If you enjoyed the show, why not tell a friend, rate the show, leave us a review, and subscribe to our Hey Austin newsletter. We'll be back tomorrow morning with more news from around the city. Bye, y'all.